Okay, great. Hi everybody, my name is Ronnie. I'm a moderator for this afternoon post-show dialogue.
Oh, hi, I'm Peggy. I'm the producer and playwright of Chap Lau.
Catch you on mute.
Muted. I think the panelists, please unmute everyone.
Yep. Okay, me again. I'm Catherine Sung, the founder of Girls.
I'm Shishan, the director of Chap Lau.
I'm Tony. I'm one actor, and I play two roles, Achai and Encik Haris.
Hi, I'm Sylvia. I'm the narrator for the English segment of Chap Lau.
Hello, I'm Carena. I'm also one of the actors playing the role of the Bak Jang So.
Oh, welcome to the entire panel. And just a bit to share, if any of you face any technical difficulties in the course of this post-show dialogue, you may also type in the chat box and address your message to NAC Priya for any technical assistance that you may require. Right. Now, when we begin, maybe I can invite our playwright, Peggy, to share with us what is actually Chap Lau all about and how did Chap Lau become a radio play? Peggy?
Okay, so Chap Lau was actually supposed to go on stage last year. But because of the pandemic, I adapted it into a radio play with an English and Chinese version. I think one of the trademarks of the Glowers is that their plays are often in English, Chinese dialects, Mandarin, and on stage it's very easy to get by all these languages because you have captions or subtitles, but not with a radio play. So with the radio play, I've decided only two versions, English and Chinese. Now, the inspiration of Chap Lau was actually its prequel, which was Kampung Cempedak. The story of Kampung Cempedak actually ended with the neighbors being resettled and moving to one of the first HDB estates in Singapore, and Chap Lau is that continuation. Now, the story is set in the 60s, and there are stories about tontine going to night class, staying illegally in an HDB flat, and hawkers going from door to door, selling their wares. As always, the ideas of the story came from the members of the Glowers. We often had discussions, we improvised scenes, and through that, I wrote Chap Lau. Chap Lau is really for older audiences who remember what radio plays were like, but I think the younger generation will also enjoy the very retro feel. Each episode is between 10 to 15 minutes long, and there are 10 episodes. There are 10 episodes in total, and you can still find them on the NAC website, the Silver Arts website.
Right. Okay. Thanks, Peggy. Now we heard you mention that it's actually, and you get the inspiration for Chap Lau from the members of the Glowers. So maybe I can invite Catherine to share with us who actually are the Glowers and who are these talents. Catherine?
Okay, the Glowers are a group of seniors who likes to perform and likes to talk. So, and that's the place where they can actually exercise their whatever they like.
Right.
So with that, I hope to promote more active aging for seniors.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So we see here now a photo of our members of Glowers, all very young and energetic actors and actresses.
And I'm so unglam lying down there.
That's called a natural shot. Natural shot. Okay.
All right.
So maybe now I can turn this over to our director, Shishan. So what are the challenges perhaps you can share with us working with non-actors, if I may, in a radio play?
Oh, okay. First of all, this is the first time that I use English to direct an English radio play.
Sorry, Shishan, you're a bit soft. Could you speak a bit louder?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
How about
good.
this?
Good.
Okay. What I'm saying is,
Still soft,
it was my first time. Still soft?
Yes.
Ayo.
Ayo.
Ayo, not soft.
Nearer to your mic, please.
Kiss your mic, kiss your mic.
Yeah, I'm kissing. Okay. My first time using English to direct an English radio play, and English is not the language in my mind. And most of the seniors while doing this, they are English speaker. So I need to struggle a lot to tell them what I want to say. But all the close members, they use their heart to accept me, to tolerate, to try to get, hey, what this lady want me to do, huh? So I will say thank you to them. Okay, and then move on will be, hey, my closest member, they have this experience on stage, you know, just that now we are doing radio play. You only need to use your voice to act, not your hand gesture, not your body. So that is another challenge for me and for them, because I need to control their movement while they are doing recording. They cannot move away from the mic, and they cannot do many hand gesture. Otherwise, they'll hit the mic and then create noise. So somehow I will grab them while they are doing recording. Somehow I'll put my hand under their shoulder when they turn their head to another partner which they are talking to, and then my finger will pop their face. So I think many here. So sorry, my dear senior members, but thank you so much for them. And many, many challenges, but we made it at last.
Right. That sounds like a lot of challenges, but that also sounds like a lot of fun. So maybe I can just check in with the actors and actresses. So given that it's a radio play and perhaps new to all of you, what are some of the interesting areas for you as actors?
I think it's more about getting your character. You know, it's not just reading the script, but the feelings, the emotions, and the reactions, everything. There's just a lot of challenge for me, especially from a stage, perspective. Coming to a radio play, you need to do a lot of visualizing. And it's not easy lah, but it was fun learning from Xu Xuan and how you're going to speak it from this part of your nose and all that, so to create that vocalization of your character. So it's a learning process and it's very fun.
Interesting point. We'll just hold that for a moment. So what about Carena or Sylvia?
Yeah, I was going to catch on what director was saying. The word first time is also a first time for me coming into a radio play. And something she said about control, that got me too, because I'm a very physical person. And here I am, I'm told not to move, you don't move. So I felt the constraint. Really, like I have to use my imagination. I'm walking, but I'm not walking. I see that person in my mind, but that person is not there, but I'm talking to that person. So I have to overcome all that.
For me as a narrator, it's different. It's different from acting, because acting you are full of action, full of expression. But this time I've got to use my voice to express the feelings and the play. You know, I've got to engage the listeners. I've got to want to make them want to tune into the next episode and the next. So that was very challenging, but I thank Shishen and the producer and Kat and all of them who helped me try to make it as exciting as possible.
Right, thank you. Now, I see a lot of smiles. I see a lot of people nodding their head in the various your Zoom window. So at this point in time, anybody has got any questions that you would like to ask the panel? Anyone? Okay, everyone is still shy, not a problem. Then let me take on that one. No, it says, okay, Shishen, so I understand that there are a lot of challenges, there are a lot of fun along the way, and we hear the difficulties that the cast faced actually. We have a question from Xingyu to everyone. Was it the same group of actors who did both the English and the Mandarin version? Well, the answer is no, it's not exactly the same group. We have got two groups. So some of us are more conversant in English, some of us are more conversant in Mandarin, and some of us who could do both. So it's actually two different sets of actors and actresses, though there are some overlaps, definitely.
Yeah,
right.
But to add to that point, do you know that we had 23 actors in total for Chap Lau? And sometimes, they doubled up. Like Tony had two voices. Sometimes we would drag people who were on the recording panel, our two young sound engineers, just to come in to create a sound, a crowd scene, which we'll share with you later on. But it takes a lot because, and I think with Suen, she might tell you a bit more about how she selects the voice for the character rather than select the actor for the character, which is completely different for stage. I'll leave her to tell you that later on.
Right, and actually we are actually coming to that, Peggy, because it's very interesting. We're talking about how they're acting, how they're using the voice, and it's really different from the stage. So Shishen, could you share with us how actually do you do the audition and the selection process, and of course the training you put all the actors through? Shishen?
First of all, I joined them halfway, so I missed the Kampong Champedat. Therefore, when I have this script, Chap Lau, I read whole through everything, and then I have different imagination of each characters.
Shishen, we need to hold your mic closer to you again.
So I know the glowers by their voice first. I listen to their voice.
Shishen, you're a bit soft.
You want them to speak. Oh,
Shishen, you still have to bring your mic nearer to you. Yeah.
Or you increase the volume. Can you please increase the volume of your mic?
I already increased maximum.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Hope now is better.
The recording studio not so good.
Yes, the actual recording studio. Okay, and then anyway, we made it. So I use my imagination from their voice. So I find that this voice suitable for I see, but maybe this person is not the actress for the Kampong Champedat. But I discussed with Peggy and Kat. So later on, we come up a list from their voice. We select artist list, and like after that, this Kat, she arranged every one of these Glower member to have one-to-one session with me, read through the lines. She tortured me from morning 9 o'clock to night time, sometimes 9 o'clock. Lucky that all my mommy, daddy, they need to have dinner with their family. So never let me work until 10 o'clock. Each hours I face different people. We read lines and then tell them, for this, you need to express this way or that. For me, I'm sitting there a whole day, longer than wherever my working day life. And then we have a line show using Zoom. Of course, the effect not so good until we go to the studio. We can actually see each other and touch the other person, although we are not allowed to touch. But all the process in between, many story to tell, but not today. Next.
I have a question here from someone who asked, how long did it take to produce Chap Lau? So actually, like I said, Chap Lau started last year when it was written for stage, but then it's like, wow, very gabra because now we can't perform. So it actually took a year just to write and get everything, right in for funding and things like that. It took almost a year, but the actual production was actually maybe 3 months. Because for every hour or every day we spent in the recording studio, we had to spend 3 or 4 days more in the editing and the post-production, adding in the music, adding in the sound effects. Because when you record, you only record the voice. You don't record with someone with the sound effects. And also because the cast is so big, the scheduling was a big nightmare. Sometimes we had to record with some people who are not there, and then put the voices together. So it was a bit of a headache because with the safety management measures, right, we only could have 8 people in the studio. So we had, the scheduling was a nightmare and it took a long time. And just the post-production took a long time. Yeah.
Right. Okay, so that seems like they have a lot of challenges, a lot of fun along the way, actors learning how to do vocalization and voicing the characters. So maybe let me now turn this to Tony. Tony, you mentioned earlier that you will play 2 characters, right? How actually do you create these 2 characters? Maybe let me just share with the participants on 2 snippets of your 2 characters from within the play. So here's one of them.
Bye bye, Mr.
Call me Atai.
Chai girl. Bye.
Yeah. Bye. Take care.
Sorry, I can't help smiling at this. And the next character is Cikgu.
Selamat petang semua.
Selamat
Bagus. Duduk. Bukan. Duduk. Sit down.
Okay, so Tony, could you just share with us how actually do you create these two characters? We know you had a lot of physical limitations. You're not supposed to turn your head and everything. Could you share with us more?
Well, okay. When I was given the two roles, Achai is a coffee shop helper, and I was thinking who, for me, is as an actor, I would like to think anybody that I know before or have met before, that how can I play that character, imbued in the way I deliver. So I remember this man who was a coffee shop worker opposite my house, the old house. So he's so typical like Achai, the way he behaves and the way he talks, to people and all that. And also he's a nice man, and Achai is a nice man. And then for Encik Haris is because I took it from my cikgu from school, because I studied Malay in school, and his style, the way he speaks, and so I pick up these two people, these two characters, and of course I will adjust a bit here and there to create Achai and Encik Haris for this radio play, and it was fun.
Cool. Now, what about Carena? Carena, how did you create your character?
Well, it was quite easy for me because I grew up in the Heartland HDB in the 60s, and there were these itinerant hawkers coming along the common corridor. So all I have to do is connect back with my childhood, right? Connect to one of those hawkers whom I heard calling out their ware. And then I just say, I'm that person, I'm walking down the corridor, and that's how I will speak. So it was all right. Just connect.
Right. That's something very interesting. So the play lets you connect back to your old memories and connect with your old.
Very much so.
Wonderful, interesting. Now, earlier you remember I couldn't help stop laughing at the music of Achai, with Rita when the music comes out. So music is actually a very important part. And of course, for Chap Lau, I just wonder how many of you here, actually, let me just stop share for a minute. How many of you here do remember the music of Chap Lau? Can I have a quick show of hands, or you can give me a symbol, a thumbs up, anything at all? How many of you remember the music of Chap Lau? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Thank you, Jeffrey. Thank you, Jeline. Okay, interesting. Now, let me share with you all more, or let me have Peggy share with us more about the music of Chap Lau. If you could just give me a moment while I pull up my share.
I feel the music and sound effects of Chap Lau is actually the unseen actor. Is there and is not there at the same time. For the music of Chap Lau, I had Julian Wong, our composer, create one tune, but I had him do a few variations of the music. The first one was actually a very nice big cha-cha sound in the style of the dance halls of the 60s, and this is what it sounds like.
Right.
Oh, sorry, that's the wrong one. Sorry, my fault.
No worries. Go listen to the cha-cha.
It's this one. It's the cha-cha.
Okay.
Okay, so this one is really catchy. It's big, it's glitzy. You can almost see people on the dance floor, in sequence, just having a wonderful time. The other piece of music, which is equally big and brash, is actually has the style of the 60s. Now, in the 60s, these were the two kind of iconic sounds, the very Latin-based bossa nova, cha-cha kind of beats, and also the new sound that was coming out with the shadows, and in Singapore with the quest, with all these guitar riffs. Have a listen to this. No, the first one, the first music.
Oh, the
first music. Yeah, this one. It's very 60s. You listen up for the guitar. Do you hear the just listen out for that, because that is so iconic of the 60s, iconic of people in tight drain pipe pants and in bowl haircuts. And then I use the same tune as well to create transition music so that we can move from one scene to another scene just with the use of sound. On stage, you can actually have a light change, you can have a scene change, same for film, but on radio, you can only use music or a sound effect. And this is what a transition sounds like. So this one has a character saying the end of the scene was, okay, bye, I'm going to so and so's place, see you later. And so as she moves from her flat to somebody else's flat, this is the transition music. So it gives the listener a chance, a breathing space to imagine, and also to like kind of figure out what's happening along the way, okay? The other sound effect that we have, the other two sound effects are kind of character sound effects and situational sound effects. This is one of them.
We talk about the sexy music.
Yeah, my favorite
music. So this music is for the character Rita. So you hear the music and you create this vision of Rita before you even see her and hear her sound, the sound of her high heel shoes, and before she opens her mouth. So you have an image of Rita, and each person's image of Rita is completely different. Of course, we have the situational music that tells you, oh, something's about to happen. Sorry. What's happening?
I let that end, so sorry.
Okay, so this one, yes, it's a bit cheesy because now we will laugh. I mean, I openly laugh at it every time I hear it. But back in the 60s, these were cues for the listener to, oh, something's about to happen. Of course, in a radio play as well, sometimes you're only listening with one ear. So you're not like, getting the dialogue. But once you hear the music, you listen in and you say, oh, something's about to happen. What is it? So it hooks the listener to listen in for this episode or for the next episode. Okay, the last piece of music is everyone's favorite.
Everyone's favorite.
Yes.
So it is.
Okay, so if you haven't guessed already, this is the typical falling in love music. There's a lot of harp. There are tinkling individual pieces of the piano and all that. And it brings us, I don't know, when I listen to this, it brings me back to a time in the 60s where people actually had pen pals. You write to, oh, hello, my name is so-and-so, my hobbies are this, that, and the other, and you kind of make friends virtually. Our old-fashioned virtually is actually through pen pal letters. And the other one was actually to song requests. I wonder how many of you remember that. I like to dedicate this song to my dear friend so-and-so, but actually you like him very much. And then you play a piece of music that is a love song. So I'm trying to bring back all these ideas, just simply using music, to connect the audiences with memories of the past, things that they used to do, and also to introduce these concepts as talking points to the newer generation.
Right, thank you.
Yeah, with that, I'd like to ask if there's any questions about the music or sound effects. As you can see, we have 17 pieces of music and more than 20 different sound effects.
Questions from anyone that you may have about the music, about the sound effects, how it creates the mood?
Yeah. Okay.
Well, if not, then let's play a little game. Oops, sorry. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play for all of you a little clip from the street hawker scene, and I want you all to count the various music as well as sound effects, and what you hear in total, and then share it with us in the chat group or the chat box. You ready? Ready then? Here goes.
Soon, quick, walk faster than that tok tea. Oh, coming. Bajang, so
Coming right away. It's such a big estate, and I keep bumping into you two.
Hey, you don't own this estate, huh? Anyone can walk anywhere.
But I'm faster and louder than you two. Siam lah!
Wait, it's so rude.
No manners.
Perfume. Who is?
It's coming from that woman. Her name is so big, so much lipstick, such a tight dress. She looks like one of your bacang.
Hey, she's a dancing girl. Pretend you don't see her.
What are you selling?
Okay, great, and that's the sound clip. So, how many sound or different music did you hear? Could you type them in the chat box, and we can then share that.
Show us with your hands and fingers.
Yep, or show us with the hands and your fingers. What do you have?
We have 7, we have 4.
Right, 7, 4. Any more?
6.
Any more?
6. 7, 4, 4, 6. Any other guess?
You can buy 4D.
All right.
Or Chap Jiki. Only 4.
leh.
Okay.
You must listen harder, Jeffrey Tan.
5.
5. Jadine says 5.
Jalene says 5.
And the answer is?
The correct answer is 9. We have a total of 9 music as sound effects. You have footsteps, vehicle sounds, you have the sexy music, you have your birds chirping, you have the tok tee, the cock sound. So we have a total of 9 different music and sound effects in that short clip itself. Right. Okay, now let us take you. Oh, yes, we have got one more question from the chat group. Wow. Yes, Jeffrey. We can let you listen to that one more time if you want to. But
you can listen to it. It's episode 1, and it's quite.
It's the opening.
On the NAC Facebook, the Silver's Facebook is episode 1. Go look it up.
Yep, and you'll find that there's actually 9. Now let's take you a little bit behind the scene. Not a little bit. Let's take you behind the scene and take a look at our recording in the studio. Okay. Here we are. We have our narrators doing the part. So Sylvia, could you share with us what is it like as a narrator? Because you're practically like working alone in the studio.
Yes. Yes, it was rather lonely without the other actors. It was a very interesting experience. I learned a lot because, as you can see, I'm quite a distance from the microphone, and I had to learn to project my voice. As Suen said, you can't look to the left, you can't look to the right, you have to speak into the mic. So there were instances where I had to be soft, there are instances where I had to be loud. So I had to really modulate my voice here and there. I enjoyed the music and the sound effects because I lived in the 60s. And so that helped me to narrate the story and to get my viewers and my listeners, excited. I went through Malay class because I had to pass my standard 1 Malay in order to go to the next salary level. I'm familiar with the cabaret music because I've been to Great World and Gay World. Wow. And also I can understand the kayponess of the uncles and aunties and the hawkers who used to come down the streets with their delicious food. So all that was very exciting, and it made the role very interesting, and I'm so thankful to be able to play this role.
Right. And Sylvia, I understand you had your recording all done in just 1 day.
Yes.
So how did you do it? I mean, it's like, wow.
Well, you had to go through the script thoroughly, look at the read through the script, understand what it's all about. And then, of course, as I said, I had a lot of guidance and direction. So that helped.
Right, great. Okay. Now let us take you to another photo of what we had in the recording studio. Right, so here's the picture of us in the recording studio of Chap Lau. So Suen, maybe you would like to share with us what's happening in this particular setup.
Oh, okay. Well, according to my recording experience and the studio that I've been to, this kind of setup is very rare, ladies and gentlemen. You see, we have the different setup. One is at the corner, we see Tony, and then because the other person used to have dialogue with him, so we place the mic lower, let two of them sitting. And then in the center, we saw the ladies, Beatrice. She find that doing radio play should stand up, easier for her to project her voice. But for her condition, she cannot stand too long. Therefore, we place a chair for her to hold on, and then the other side easier for her to place a script. And then there's a young man behind her. Oh, this young man, because he can project his voice so good. Therefore, he stands a bit further from the mic. At the same time, he also taking care of Beatrice. And then the other mic. Did you saw the two ladies? Did you realize that their body gesture is very standby mood, very alert? So besides delivering their lines, they also stand by to create some sound effect. For example, moving in from the door and then close to you, these footsteps. So when I see this picture, not only the people and the things behind the studio, well, it's a good memory. You will never have this studio again.
Right. Say something about the studio. I mean, it's not that we didn't want to have a good studio. It's just because that this was offered to us for free and we just took it up. I mean, it's so hard to get, it's very expensive to find a studio that's not only big enough, but able to give it to us for nothing really to use.
Yeah, it's very thankful.
Yeah,
very
we're very
thankful.
thankful to IT.
Yeah.
To be able to do this. This is not the best because, as you can see, the sound that we there are a lot of reflection of sound from the drums behind and all that. But we made do with what we have, lah. I mean, it sounds for me, it sounds decent enough. Yeah.
Okay, great. And now, and with that, actually, I know what we have is we actually also would like you to hear a crowd scene. I would like to hear a crowd scene created by the actors and actresses, and would like you to share with us what do you hear in that crowd scene, and where do you think it is, or what do you think it is, and what do you hear and how do you think it was done? Okay, so if all of you are ready, let's do this.
Ingat saya ni senang kan? Anak muda sekarang malas nak panjat tangga. Nah, saya padan muka. Okey, mulai. Saya kan ni kui, 这是怎麼嘅咧？佢會識緊有幫手。仔，翻嚟食飯啦！媽，叫我個名都唔得啊！我係你阿媽，我叫你乜就乜。翻嚟啊，個仔，知道啦。
Right, a very interesting scene. So could you put in the chat box and let us know, what do you hear? Where do you think this was? And how do you think it was done? Could you share with us?
Either that or turn on your mics and tell us. We'd love to hear your voice. We're auditioning for the next episode already. mini audition since you're online.
Yes, Christian is all here.
Very good. Playground.
Yeah. Void deck.
Void deck. Right, wonderful. Void deck, playground. Okay.
Any more? Argument, yes.
Argument, yes.
Okay.
And yes. Would you want to, anybody want to audition for the next radio play?
Give us the reply.
Can I invite some of you to share?
Maybe later you're
School.
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 Interesting. Okay. Now, we actually wanted to show you all, bring you all behind the scene and show you all what it's really like, right? So we actually have prepared a video recording of the scene. However, due to technical limitations, the video comes out very jerky. However, we try, okay? So we're still going to try it, and hopefully you can see it okay. But not to worry if it's very jerky. We will pause it after a moment, and we'll have maybe Suen to talk us through, right? So if you are ready, here we go. Oh, sorry.
And go.
Pak, tolong buangkan kapten. Weh, awak ingat saya ni tenang ya?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. I remember this scene, so cute. This is the recording setup. We have a Malay family, we have a Chinese family, and then I was there, the one who's standing. Sounds like, looks like I'm quite fierce. In fact, I'm directing who to speak after, take turn to speak. And then we let some of the seniors to sit is because while they are sitting, they can turn their body left and right, up and down, to create a distance, because this is a playground scene. So all the ladies, they act as kids, girls, a young girl, young boy. Okay, only the two men, they are three men are on their age, a young boy, a father, and then the other father. And the lovely part of this is all of them, in fact, they are not playing one role, not one character. Somehow, suddenly she's a girl, and suddenly she become an older mother. And then, in fact, they are talking to themselves. Something like that. And then Catherine, the one in orange color, she's my mother, and I'm the son. She's screaming from second floor to the son downstairs. So we are imagining that during that time when we are in the playground, normally things like this would happen, right? So love to share this with you all.
Maybe Ronnie, you can pull the video a bit back and see what happens at the end, because Suen kind of sits in and does the little boy.
Right.
And it's quite common for, I think, for radio plays, for dubbing, because you don't see, don't have any visual information about the person playing the voice. We take it as the voice. So many times, women, girls are used to play the roles of children and young boys, which is what Suen is doing now.
Right. So let's try and see if we can get this going. Oh, sorry, I off the volume earlier. Let me pull this back up.
Look at Carena. She laughed, and then I laughed too loud, and then she laughed.
Not part of the script. It's not part of the script.
Let's try.
See, my mother? When we do these, all we need to use imagination. Imagine that you are talking to who else, where is it? So we are too many body movement. So let them sit is the best decision.
Okay, I'm going to ask a question randomly because I thought, oh, this is interesting for you to know. This scene is 5 seconds.
5 seconds.
You hear it, it's 5 seconds or so. It's the opening scene of one episode where it sets the scene of this is the housing board estate. I need 5 seconds of it. How long do you think we needed to record this? Just put up on your hands. It's like 1 hour, 2 hours, 10 hours. How long did it take to record this? Remember, it's 5 seconds. 3 hours.
3 hours.
Very good.
Right.
Yeah, almost. Yeah, it took
Perfect.
a good. It took like 5 seconds. Right, it took us almost an hour to do it. almost an hour. And don't forget, your 2 extra hours and comes from post-production, because if you listen to this, now you hear the voices call, but at the first one you heard other children, younger children, which we got another track and we put the 2 tracks together, so it sounds richer and fuller. So these are the ones with lines. The other ones, the backing track, or rather the other voices, are just one plain track of a generic scene of children in the playground. So there were 2 tracks going together. Yeah.
Right.
2 dialogue tracks, not to mention about the environment track.
Environment sounds, we had traffic, we had bird sounds, many sounds.
Yeah. Okay, great. So at this juncture, we've actually shared with everyone about how Chap Lau came about, how it became a radio play. We shared more about the casting, the selection. You've heard the music, the various sound effects, how it all came together to create the mood and atmosphere for the radio play. And you've seen the crowd scene and behind the scene of how things are done. So are there any questions that you'd like to have ask the panel or ask any of our actors and actresses? Right, there's a comment from Xingyu. I remember back in the day, up to the end of the 90s, all the Mandarin TV series were dubbed over to correct the actor's pronunciation. Did you all use the same kind of technique?
It's so fun. Yes, beautiful question. Suen, go ahead.
Oh, okay. The first different thing will be, just now, Ronnie already said that our senior, they are non-radio play, not voice actress,
not professionals.
Not professional. And then for our dubbing, for the TV dubbing, we need to use specialists. Those are good, very fluent in the language to do as a dubbing artist. So this is the very first difference, and this difference makes a lot of difference because we will cut down the recording time. And then they really know what is their relationship with the mic, how far, how to tilt their head, how to using this chin to move a little bit from the mic, away from the mic, and then you create different atmosphere, different distance, different because one thing, dubbing you have vision. See, so I cannot let my audience find out that this actor, this voice not belongs to this actor. So dubbing artists, they cannot have their show time, I cannot let you know that, hey, I'm the one who dubbed for Joey, dubbed for Anthony. Cannot. Better don't. Otherwise will disturb the audience when they appreciate the movie and then they think of, hey, this person speaking is not his voice, then no good. You kill the interest of viewing. If you want to be a dubbing artist, you come and look for me. I'll teach you if okay, and then you can do radio play as well.
Right. So
I think in the old days, right, we didn't, when we were recording TV, we didn't have many microphones. So everyone just record as it is, and then it went into the dubbing studio to be dubbed over. And this is where Suen and I met in the old days in Caldecott Hill dubbing studios. And I remember this, we had to identify people with voices like, oh, yours is old lady voice. So that was me, old lady voice. But we had handsome voice, we had pretty voice, we had beautiful voice, with all these categories of voices to match to the hero of the story, to the heroine of the story, to the mother, to the grandmother of the story. Yeah.
Okay, looking about this, dubbing other people character, I mean the actors, the role on screen is very difficult. I have tried because my English not bombastic and never good. And then one time they says no Singlish. So growing up, Chong so have to speak Queen's English after the shoot. And I was called back to do dubbing. I tell you, I'm dubbing my own voice, I actually swear, why you speak so fast? I can't catch up because the way that the role play is. Then here I have to make sure that all my lines are in perfect English, standard English. I tell you, it's so hard.
Yeah, I remember.
Right. So in a nutshell, what you hear in Chap Lau, it's authentic. There's no background behind the scene dubbing to perfect our voices or to perfect our language. What you hear, it's what that was given in the recording studio. All imperfections and otherwise. Okay. Any other questions anyone else have for us? You can raise your hands, put it in the chat box.
Thank you.
You're most welcome. Okay, so in the interest of time, let me just ask these few questions to the panel, and you may share with us. Now, as seniors, doing the radio play Sept in the 60s, do you think that there's still a kampong spirit in Singapore?
You mean now?
Now, yes.
To me, we still have the kampong spirit in a way, but it's different from what we had when we were younger in the kampong. Because kampong spirits, we are only located in one area in the kampong, which everybody knows everybody. In Singapore, unfortunately, because we are in taller buildings and everybody close the door, we notice that as if we don't care. We don't say hello to, a lot of us don't say hello to our neighbors. We don't even know they are Chinese or they are non-Chinese sometimes, okay? But I noticed once we have problem in the country, or anything happen, if there's a call, especially now you have Facebook, if there's a call, you notice a lot of Singaporeans still have that kampong spirit to help. And they don't need to be in the same kampong. They help throughout, in any area. If they can, they will just, get food, to buy food or what, or, do some kind of gesture, which to me is still very kampong spirit. But I don't know how it is, but I don't think they've lost it. We Singaporeans still have that good spirit in helping.
It just changed its form.
Yeah.
I think one of our National Day songs, Count on Me, has this line, there's a spirit in the air. I think the spirit is still there. It may not be called a kampong spirit, but yeah, I mean, 7 months is over, right? Not that kind of spirit. Still have the spirit, yeah.
So the care is quite apparent. I mean, we talk about care. I mean, the care of wanting to do this play, to reach out to seniors who like miss this art form, is one level of care. Another level of kampong spirit or care, I think, would be within what I see within the recording of the studio. I mean, how people looked after Tony, how people looked after Suen, and how people looked after each other during the whole, during the whole difficult time of the recording during the pandemic. And I think that's quite apparent. I'm quite touched by it, actually. Yeah.
Great. Okay. So if I hear correctly, I think the kampong spirit, if I may say, it's still there. The care and concern that everybody has for one another, it's still existent, though it has taken probably a slightly different form. Rather than being a horizontal kampong, perhaps it's now a vertical kampong, or even a virtual kampong that we may have, right? So it still exists, just in a different form and a different way. Right, and of course, Peggy talked about the care. We wanted to actually share this old art form with the seniors and the seniors within the community as well. So, do you all think actually that Chap Lau has contributed to the arts or to the broader community?
I think most definitely, because I think it has a new level of connection. We're now connecting in a very different way. It's not visually, but orally with the ears. We are connecting through memories. We're connecting through the young ones that we work with, and to each other. I mean, reconnected with Suen after so many years, and find still the same joy working with her. Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, for me, I think it also using this form of radio, hopefully that if in the family, the grandparents and the children or the grandchildren or whatever have a chance to listen to it, or even don't have, someone have listened to it and come back with a question and someone can answer. This kind of connection with this form of art can create this kind of connection. For instance, if we talk about a lot of things that the young people won't know, we talk about Tong Tin. What is Tong Tin? And if the young one hear what is Tong Tin, who will they go and look for? The grandparents all their parents. If their parents don't know, they were going to ask for their parents. So this, I hope, this actually the connection, and with this kind of connection, will go on, and it helps that way to me lah. With this form of
I feel that this Chap Lau is a sort of a legacy from us. We leave a legacy of what has happened in the past, and get the younger listeners to understand the past to the present, and then maybe they'll appreciate what they have and count their blessings.
I just heard this morning a friend's granddaughter was 9 years old.
Yeah, that's
She's
right.
a fan of Chap Lau. Oh, bless her.
Nice.
And I hope you travel overseas.
Chap Lau.
Yeah.
And travel overseas, right? Can using
Wonderful. So if I hear everyone mentioning, so it's really a form of connectedness, right?
Yes.
Between ourselves and our memories, between the younger generation and the older generation. And I share that personally as well. I'm still young, so I wasn't familiar with tontins.
Yeah.
And actually, when I heard this, I actually went asking my parents as well. How was it like? What's tontin all about? And well, for once, they could spend a long time sharing me what happened back in those days. So I think definitely that connectedness, this Chap Lau acting as a conversation starter, right? To allow different generations, even within the same generation, to have conversations. And I think that is really something that's beautiful, something that's very, very important. And Sylvia talked about leaving a legacy, right? And I think really Chap Lau has made a significant contribution, in my own opinion, in the sense that it's a very traditional art form, a radio play, but at the same time, we have given it a fresh lease of life by making it on YouTube, right? By making it available on perhaps Spotify and stuff. So these are new platforms that the younger generation are very familiar with, and the younger generations know how to use this platform to assess the art form and to assess the different media that they want, content that they want to have. So it's really also a bridging, and that's a contribution, I believe, that Chap Lau definitely would have towards the local art scene as well, right? Anyone else has anything else to add to this?
Before we say goodbye?
No? Yes, before we say goodbye, right? If not, then let me share screen again. Okay. Are you all seeing my screen okay?
Yes.
Great. Okay, now, so for those of you who are interested, I have a, all the versions and episodes of Chap Lau are available on the NAC Facebook page, fb.com, NAC Singapore. They will also be available on our link tree, which will post all the episodes and all the versions onto YouTube. And at the same time, listen out to the Chinese version of Chap Lau and join us for the post-show dialogue, which is happening on the 24th of September at 2 p.m. Right? Now, so one last thing before we leave, and that is, if you are not using your mobile phone to join in, please help us improve. Take this survey, use a handphone, scan the QR code, take the survey, and you will stand a chance to win $50 vouchers. Now, for those who can't scan the QR code, you may also go to go.gov.sg/SA Silver Arts 2021 survey, right? And with that, thank you very much. I wish everybody a very pleasant afternoon. Thank you to the panel. Thank you for joining us. Thanks everyone for spending this afternoon with us. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks,
Thank you
Jeffrey.
very much.
Thanks, Tilly. Thank you. Thanks, Padma. Thank you.
Thank you.
Play music.
Yes.
So you dance with the music. And do my exercise with this.